Hey, what's up everyone? Thanks for checking out the video. Southside Braves here. And today I got the return of the weekly preview videos. We have week 10 of the Rocket Draft League coming up this upcoming week. So yeah, I'm excited to get back to these. I think these are the videos that people have liked the most on my channel. So I put some work into it, got back to it, and we should have a good one. If I sound different, or if you hear Velcro, or if I say anything that doesn't make any sense, I just had shoulder surgery earlier today. So I'm in a big old sling. I'm on some oxycodone. So, yeah. So if I say anything weird or anything like that, I apologize. But I also didn't want to sit around all day and do nothing. So I wanted to record this video and get it out. So that's what we're going to do. So again, the way these videos start is we're going to look at the matches from the previous week. Starting off the week, we had the Seattle Supersonics and the Miltanks playing each other. The Supersonics were not a team the last time I did one of these. They did take over for somebody. I don't exactly know who, to be honest. And this is another one that did not get recorded, at least to my knowledge. I didn't see it anywhere, so I don't have it up there. I know the Miltanks coach, Abomination, does do theirs. They just got theirs from the week before out. So I'm excited to watch that if it does come out. I do know the Miltanks picked up the 4-4 win here in a draw. And from what I gathered from Discord and stuff, sounded like it was extremely close. Supersonics fall to 3-6 with the loss. Miltanks go up to 6-3. Jirachi and Garbodor picked up 2 kills for the Supersonics. And the Deancey and Slavalley picked up 2 kills for the Miltanks. So that was our first match of the week. Moving on to match number 2. We had the Philadelphia Pidgeys versus the Mississippi Morpicos. And Pidgeys kind of dominate this game, win 5-0. Goodra picks up 3 kills for him. Glade picks up 1, and Scizor picks up 1. For the Morpicos, Decidueye picks up their lone kill. Big reason I thought the Pidgeys were able to take advantage in this game. They got up rocks early, and it proved to be a big problem for the Morpicos. Just that chip damage every single switch in just racked up so much for the Pidgeys. That and Scizor and Rotom being able to pivot out with U-turn and Volt Switch throughout the match made sure the Pidgeys always kept momentum. Like, every time Scizor was in, Arcanine would come in, take a U-turn, take about 25% from it. And so that's what a big reason I thought they were able to control the match throughout. And as you can see on the screen, my play of the match, as I call it, wasn't anything special. Like, there wasn't any massive play that I thought won it for the Pidgeys. Honestly, I could have put the Stealth Rocks up there, in my opinion. But Goodra picked up 3 kills at the end of the match, flame throwing both the Registeel and the Decidueye that comes in to finish off the match and pick up the 5-0. So I threw that up there so you can all see that. So congrats on the Pidgeys. They go up to 4-5. Still in the playoff hunt. Gonna have to pick up some late wins, but I think as of right now, because of their division or their conference, I think they would be in right now. But they, I think, would be the last team in the playoffs. So right there on the border. Need some more wins here at the end of the season to confirm that spot. Morpicos unfortunately fall to 1-8. Not having the season they were looking for, but can still bounce back and pick up some wins late here. And I believe technically not out of the playoffs. I think if they win 3 straight, the Pidgeys lose 3 straight, and they get some other help, I do think the Morpicos are mathematically alive. But they are hanging to a thread. Moving on to our third match. Again, sorry for the sniffles and everything. I know I'm doing it. Third match, unfortunately, I don't know if it got played. I didn't see a score for it, didn't see anything for it. So I'm just kind of leaving it blank here. It's the Omnites versus the Rampardos. Hopefully it got played and just not submitted, or it's about to get played. But yeah, not much to say on a game that didn't happen. Moving on to match number 4. We had the Volcaronas versus the Litwicks. Another match I think might get posted a little bit later by the Volcaronas probably. And I will go watch that once it does come out. But to my knowledge, it's not out yet. Volcaronas picked up a 5-4 win. I do remember early in the year they were picking up a lot of wins with few kills. Very defensive team if he wants it to be. Looks like he can still play that way. Celesteela and Shiftry pick up the 2 kills for the Volcaronas, who have the best record in the league at 8-1. And the Litwicks fall to 7-2 and have the second best record and the best differential in the league at 7-2, with Mandibuzz picking up their lone kill. So these are two powerhouses. The Volcaronas, I actually think both of these teams, if I remember correctly, have officially clinched playoff spots. I think even if they lose their last three, they're both officially in. Volcarona's looking for that number 1 seed. Litwick's 1 game behind them. This loss is going to hurt in that race. But these are two powerhouses in the league. Either one of these teams could end up winning a championship down the road. Moving on to the 5th match. We had the Virginia Scissors versus the Reading Raikus. Two teams that haven't had the year they wanted either. The Raikus do pick up the 4-0 win. For the Scissors, Magmortar and Sylveon picked up their 2 kills. Comfy and Sandaconda putting in some work, 2 kills apiece. And Urshifu picked up 1 as well. The Raikus improved to 2-7. Scissors fall to 3-6. I believe the Raikus are mathematically out. They are in the tougher of the 2 conferences by record. The Scissors, I think, are still alive, but again, hanging to a thread. Moving on to the 6th match. We had my own. I went up against the Vicavolts. I unfortunately take a 1-0 loss. I couldn't pull it out with Ditto late. Play the game right here. Trying to remember what I had. Was it the gunk shot? Yeah, I thought I kind of made a misplay here. I was hoping my Tapu Fini could live a gunk shot from Cinderace, which I know it's not going to. It was a bad decision. I should have gone into Ditto first. Forced him to switch into the Dragapult or let Cinderace go down to my Ditto. Then bring Tapu Fini in. I did it in a bad order, and I think it cost me. But either way, it was a very close game. Could have gone either way at the end. I would like to see how he would have played it if I did it in the other order. Because I'm sure there's still a way he had to get out of it. But it was a crazy match. Fun one. Vicavolts do pick up the 1-0. Cinderace picked up 4 kills for him. Dragapult picked up the other 2. The league as a whole, myself included, I think really screwed up by giving him Cinderace and Dragapult. That is monstrous that he has both of those Mons. But yeah, those 2 clean up and pick up all 6 kills for him. For myself, split kills. 5 different Mons picked up 1. Aggron had 1. Charizard had 1. And Ditto had 1. Yeah, as I said, Cinderace and Dragapult really carried the Vicavolts to victory. Ditto couldn't quite clutch up at the end to win it. And this match had huge wild card potential in that conference. And I just realized I think I misspelled the word conference. A win for me would have flipped me to 5-4. He also would have been 5-4. He's now 6-3. I'm 4-5. Both of us fighting for wild card spots over in the... Sorry, I don't remember the name of the conference. Over in the right side, if you look online. But yeah, both of us fighting close. So this one had huge wildcard potential. I am now in a tough spot where I kind of probably need to win all 3 of my last ones to make it. Whereas the Vicavolts put themselves in a great spot where if they win 1 or 2 of their last, they're probably in. Moving on to the next one. We had the Indianapolis Molts versus the Calexico Blazikins. Again, sorry if I'm saying that name wrong. I think Calexico? I don't know. But the Blazikins and Coach Sen. Sen and the Blazikins picked up a 5-0 win. The Molts fall to 1-8, and I do believe have also been mathematically eliminated from playoff potential. Girder picked up their 1 kill. Blazikins Dragonite really cleaned up with some Dragon Dances to go 5-0. Quagsire picked up his 6th one. Like I said, him setting up the double Dragon Dance was the key to victory, in my opinion. His Dragonite ran wild. This win puts Blazikins again in a strong position for playoffs. Win 1 or 2 of your last games, and he's probably in. And again, Girder picked up that lone KO for the Bolts. So yeah, that was our 7th match, and we're going to move on to our last one. And real quick, play of the game in the window, as you see, was just Dragonite setting up some Dragon Dances. Setting up 2 Dragon Dances, and then running wild. Match number 8, in our final match of the week, was the Shock versus the Hydreigons. Hydreigons pick up a surprising 6-0 to me. Not surprising that the Hydreigons did it, because Coach Bladdle and the Hydreigons, amazing coach, amazing team. He's a really tough guy to beat. So him 6-0ing somebody does not surprise me. But the Shock and Coach Bosif and that have had a really good season. So him taking this hurt, he made a couple bad decisions early that were unfortunate, and then RNG really kept him down. He had a couple plays that could have shrunk this differential a little bit, and not been as bad of a loss. I don't know if he would have come back after the start he had, but he could have made it much closer. And RNG just said no, that's not happening. So both teams are now 7-2. Shock falls they fall a game to 7-2. Hydreigon Guns go up to 7-2. Both teams pretty securely in the playoff race. So I don't think this will hurt the Shock in the long run, but it was a surprising result. Thunderous picked up 4 kills. Big play of the game, as you'll see on the screen, was he thought he kind of had a free switch in here against Thunderous. But as you will see, the Weather Ball catches him off guard. And this Weather Ball from Thunderous became a monstrous problem for the Shock. Really didn't have any answers to it, kind of did what it wanted. And as you can see, it OHKO'd the Nidoqueen here. So Thunderous with that picked up 4 kills. Cinccino picked up the other 2, who's been a surprising great Mon this season. If you look at the kills and stuff, Cinccino has been fantastic for the Hydreigons. So kind of a Mon to watch out for the way he uses them. Again, Hydreigons pick up the 6-0 victory. Thunderous T runs wild in the rain. And again, the Shock fell behind early with a couple misplays. I don't know if I'd say misplays, but not knowing what his opponent has. And then RNG kept him down from there. So congrats to the Hydreigons on probably the most impressive win of the week. Moving on to the power rankings. It's been a while since I've done these. I don't even know how much people have changed since last time I did it because it was so long ago. So I didn't put up and down how far people moved. Kind of started from scratch almost, looked at how teams have done as a whole, and made our power rankings here. At 16, we have the Mississippi Morpecos. These 4 teams, 2 of them are out. The Molts and the Raikus mathematically cannot make the playoffs. The Morpecos and the Scizors are still technically alive if a bunch of stuff breaks their way. Probably not going to happen. These are the 4 teams that are kind of, I would assume, looking forward to next season. Ready for this one to be about over. It just hasn't gone the way they wanted. So just unfortunate. But yeah, you got the Morpecos at 16, Molts at 15, Scizors at 14, and the Raikus at 13. Moving on to the next set of teams here. These are the teams that are, except for I believe the Pidgeys, but these are the ones battling to get back in the race. These teams, I believe all, except for the Pidgeys, would currently be out of the playoffs, but all still have a pretty legitimate shot of making it if they go on a run here late. They need some big wins late in the season to make it. You got the Omnites at 12, Supersonics at 11, Rampardos at 10, myself, the Nido Kings at 9, and the Pidgeys at 8. All of these teams, I believe, have 3 or 4 wins. Pidgeys, like I said, beneficiaries of a weak conference and are actually in the playoffs right now with 4 wins. But every team here is still alive, like I said, needs to get hot when they need it. Moving on to the next set. These are the ones that you will probably see in the playoffs, but still need a win or 2 to secure it. They're not in, but unless they kind of have a late season collapse, you should see in the playoffs. At 7, you got the Detroit Shock, who I know I had very high early on my rankings. Tough 6-0 loss this week. I had to drop him for it. I can't leave you that high if you get 6-0'd. Just can't do it. So they're still in this group that you'll see in the playoffs most likely, but they do fall to 7. Miltanks have been playing well. Wish I could have seen their match this week. Did go back and watch theirs last week. So you do see the Miltanks up at number 6. Vicavolts pick up the 1-0 victory against myself. They sit at number 5. And then Coach Sen and the Blazekins at number 4. Here's your top 3. These are the ones that you will see in the playoffs. The Litwicks have already clinched the playoff spot at number 3. They are in. They haven't clinched the division, but they are in. There'll be at least a wild card. The Volcaronas have clinched their division. That division is over. They cannot be caught. The Volcaronas will win that division. Hydreigons haven't technically clinched anything. They could technically miss the playoffs, but I would be stunned if you don't see the Hydreigons in the playoffs. These 3, in my opinion, are the 3 that you'll see most likely in the championship. One of these 3 taking it home, with an outside chance of one of the 4 you saw in the previous slide. If anyone else outside of those last 2 slides takes it, it'd be a huge Cinderella story. I'd love to see it, because I'm not on these top 2 slides, so I'd love to see it, but I would bet it's on either this one most likely, or maybe an outside chance on one on the one before. But yeah, these are the 3 teams to watch out for in my opinion. Volcarona is the only team at 8-1, so they take the number 1 spot. Moving on to our standings. So you can kind of see here, You can see the Volcarona's 8-1. Next closest is 4-5. That is why the Pidgeys have that last spot right now. So Volcarona's looking very good. Like I said, they're in the playoffs. Litwick's over in their division, 7-2, but a monstrous, I can't say it enough, a monstrous plus 27 differential. So they're in good shape if it comes down to tiebreaker. Miltank's actually in second place in that conference, have the third best differential in the league at plus 12, so they've been playing very strong lately. So I'd look to see them in the playoffs as well. But like I said, that last spot over in the Sword and Shield conference is up for grabs. You got the Pidgeys currently holding it at 4-5. Rampardos haven't played their game; they're 3-5. Supersonics one game behind at 3-6. Ammonites haven't played their game; they're 3-5. And the Morpicos, like I said, they're not out of it at 1-8. If they can get 3 wins in a row here late, they can come back and win this thing. Now they're going to need some help as well. They need the Pidgeys to lose all their matches, the Rampardos and Ammonites to lose at least 2 each. One of them. At least 2 each. Supersonics have to lose 2. So they're going to need some help, but they are mathematically alive. Going over to the other conference, in the Shadow Division, you have the Shock up at 7-2 at plus 8. But that loss this week, that 6-0 loss to the Hydreigons, opens the door for the Vikavolt. They picked up a win. They're 6-3 with a plus 4. That division is not wrapped up. That Vikavolt team is very much alive to take the division away from the Shock. The other two kind of struggling a little bit, Scizors and Molts. The Molts are officially eliminated. Their season is over. Have fun in your last 2 matches. Try to make it competitive. Take somebody else out of the playoffs. But their season is done. The Scizors still alive, but need a lot of help. They're in a really tough spot. They need to win all 3 and have the Vikavolts or Blazikins lose all 3. Moving on to the Ice Division. Again, another division very much up for grabs. Hydreigon 7-2 plus 14. Blaziken 6-3 plus 11. They do play each other. All these teams do play interdivisional games still. So these divisions very much up for grabs outside of the Sword Division. I'd be excited. I think the Hydreigons took the first matchup of the season between the Blazikins and the Hydreigons. So I'm excited to see how the second one goes. I could be wrong. I think I am wrong. I think the Blazikins took it. I don't remember. But their rematch could be for the division. And then the Raikous, again, unfortunately, out. They have been eliminated. Hopefully they can help me out by beating the Hydreigons and the Blazikins. I'd appreciate you for that, because I am still alive. Again, I'm going to need some help. I need to win at least 2, probably all 3 of mine, and then hope for a loss by the Blaziken, or a couple losses by the Blazikins or the Vikavolts. So, I'm still alive, but I cannot afford another loss. All right, moving on to the Players of the Week. We have in the Sword Division, Goodra. Again, picked up 3 kills, flamethrowing some things late. Led to a big win, 5-0 win. In the Shield, you have Silvally. Only got 1 kill, but there was only 1 team in that division that won this week. One of them didn't play. So I gave it to somebody that did something on the winning team. So I went ahead and gave it to Silvally, I believe from the Miltanks. Moving to the Shadow Division, you have the Blaziken that destroyed me and picked up 4 kills. It led the way late against that Ditto and secured the victory, the 1-0 victory for the Vikavolts. In the Ice Division, you have Dragonite for Coach Sen and the Blazikins. Like I said, really put in some work with the double Dragon Dance. Picked up 4 kills after that, maybe 5, I think 4 though. And really just controlled the match. Also, I forgot to put on here, but Coach of the Week, I'm going to give to Blattle. He picked up that 6-0 over the Shock, which was stunning. So I don't see how I can give it to anyone other than Blattle for Coach of the Week of the Helgon Hydreigons. Moving on to your league leaders. This has changed quite a bit from the last time I looked at it. Kill leaders, you have Mew with a 2-kill lead at 13 from the Litwicks. Regilicki at number 2 with the Rampardos at 11. And I don't think the Rampardos have played yet either, so he has a chance to take that lead this week still. And then a 3-way tie between Aegislash, Cinderace, and Dragonite from the Shock, Vikavolts, and Blazikins respectively. Moving over to your kill-death ratio leaders, which personally I kind of think is the more important stat. But I mean, both these are important. You pick up 13 kills like Mew has, you're doing some work. But I'd like for my things to stay alive as well. So you have a tie at top of the KD, and that's between Clefable and Mew. So you see a new face in Clefable. And then a 3-way tie For third, between Cinccino, Dragonite, and Regieleki. Again, I told you that Cinccino from the Heligon Hydreigons has been a surprisingly strong Pokemon. So, yeah, these are your league leaders stat-wise with 3 weeks to go. Moving on to Week 10 matchups. Again, all divisional matchups, big week as far as playoff race goes. First matchup of the week, you have the Supersonics versus the Pidgeys. 2 teams fighting for that last playoff spot over in that conference. For the Supersonics, Keldeo, Jirachi, and Gourgeist, I think, are 3 Mons that could make a big appearance this week. For the Pidgeys, you got Goodra, Gallade, and Scizor. It's going to be a close match. All of these, I think, this week have a chance to be... I think this has a chance to be a fantastic week of games. I forgot to put Game of the Week on there, too. I'm going to do that at the end. I'll go through all of them and say, this one has a chance. Both these teams fighting for a playoff spot. I'm going with the Pidgeys to hold on to their current slim lead for that last spot. And I'm going to pick the Pidgeys to win this one in a nail-biter. Yeah, I think Goodra can be big again. I think he's going to be the player of the week again for the Pidgeys. I just think he has a good matchup. He can flamethrower some things. Thunderbolt. I like the mixed special, the special attacking set with a bunch of different moves this week from him if he decides to run that. But yeah, obviously he used a Goodra that worked for him last week. I don't remember the exact moveset other than flamethrower. So yeah, I'm picking the Pidgeys. Moving on to matchup number 2. You have the Omnites versus the Volcaronas. 2 teams on opposite sides of the spectrum here. Omnites not having the season they were looking for. Volcaronas dominating the league at number 1 right now. For the Omnites, Klefki, Slurpuff, and Dracovish can make appearances. For the Volcaronas, I see Clefable, Lantern, and Celesteela all coming. And I'm sorry to the Omnites. This one I see probably being the biggest blowout of the week. And I'm going to go with the Volcaronas winning probably at least 4-0, if not more. Although all their games are very defensive, so they very well could win like 6-5. But I'm going with the Volcaronas this week for this one. And again, I don't think this one's going to be in jeopardy. But again, I'm rooting for some upsets here right before the playoffs. Go Omnites. Moving on to matchup number 3. We have the Morpekos versus the Rampardos. Again, Morpekos near the bottom. I think I had him last in the power rankings. Rampardos, bottom half, but still alive. So for the Morpekos, I can see them bringing some fun stuff this week with their season being over and try to get away with bringing some different sets and things. I would like to see Corvisquire. I would like to see if he can get something done with it. Decidueye's kind of been one of his best mons, and he does lean on the Arcanine quite a bit. So those are 3 I see for him coming. I don't really know if I see Corvisquire coming, but I'm kind of rooting for it. For the Rampardos, Regieleki I think has to come. It's been dominating for his team. And then I think he brings the Zygarde and the Glacier. And I do think that the team with something to play for here does pick up the win, and I'm going to go with the Rampardos. So, yeah, moving on to matchup number 4. We have the Maryland Litwicks versus the Miltanks. And I've already changed my mind. This is my new game of the week, if I don't see one better. This one I think could be fantastic. This one could be really, really good. 2 teams that I expect to see in the playoffs. Yeah, I'm really excited to see this one, actually. This will be as soon as this one gets uploaded, I will be watching this one right away. For the Litwicks, I see Mew, who's been, again, dominant in the league, if you look at the kills. Tapu Koko and Mandibuzz all coming. For the Miltanks, I see Jellicent, Deancey, and Kartana coming. This one is just a toss-up. You could flip a coin on this one. Again, I think Litwick's number 1 in differential, Miltank's number 3 in differential. Yeah, but definitely for sure game of the week here. Oh, this one's so tough. I'm going to go with the team that's dominated differential, and I'm going to go with the Litwicks. But I think this one's going to be a fantastic game. I would not be surprised if Miltanks pull off the upset, but I am going to go with the Litwicks to win this. Moving on to matchup number 5. You have the Scizors versus Vikavolt. Again, Vikavolt's in a little bit better spot heading into the playoffs right now. Scizors, still I need to pick up some wins here, though. For the Scizors, I see Sylveon, Galvantula, and Garchomp coming. For the Vikavolts, I see Dragapult, Cinderace, and Skarmory all coming, and I think he's brought those 3 every week, if not close to every week. So I think you know what you're getting from the Vikavolts. It's just, can you beat it? Dragapult obviously can run some different stuff. Cinderace gets a decent move pool. So, I mean, you don't know exactly what's coming, but you get the idea of it. But yeah, it's can you stop it? To be honest, I don't think the Scizors can. And I'm going to go with the Vikavolt to win this one as well. Which won't help my playoff chances. So for me to have a better chance to make the playoffs, I'm rooting for the Scizors. Please prove me wrong, Scizors. Moving on to matchup number 6. We have the Molts versus the Shock. Again, a team that's already been eliminated versus a team that's looking to secure a high playoff seed. So for the Molts, Stack Attack, Volcanion, and Sceptile are all good possibilities. For the Shock, Aegislash, Galarian Zapdos, and Nidoqueen, all strong mons. Again, I'm going to stay with my philosophy here. I'm going to pick the team with something to play for. Shock are still very much alive and great driver's seat for the playoffs. They want to improve their position a little bit. Molts, season's over. They might get a little creative, bring some fun stuff. So I'm going to go with the Shock here to win this. But never doubt a team that's got nothing to play for. They can be scary. Moving on to match number 7. I've decided to start doing my own matches here. I'm not going to say exactly what I'm bringing or what my plan is. And honestly, if you're my opponent and you're watching this, like this week at Sen, I might say some stuff just to throw it out there and not even consider bringing it. But for myself, some mons that have had good seasons, Tapu Fini, Charizard, and Como have all been good for me. Those 3 could all make an appearance. For the Blazekins, I see Dragonite, Heatran, and Ferrothorn coming. If by saying any of those 3 he decides not to bring them, great. I would love to not see any of them. So, psychological warfare a little bit on these, maybe. Yeah, and I'm not going to talk much more after that. I think Tapu Fini has a good matchup against his team other than the Ferrothorn, which I think Charizard could be very good for, or even Como with some fire moves. I don't even know if I would bring physical or special yet. If it's specifically for the Ferrothorn, it would be a Flamethrower Como, but I need to look at the rest of his team. But obviously, Flash Fire Heatran can help counter that. So there's going to be some back and forth switching and some mind games in the match. But I think my team matches up decently well. I won the matchup the first time around, so I'm looking to win it again the second time around. And I am going to pick myself to do that. If I want to stay alive in these playoffs, I need to get a win. All right, moving on to our last match of the week. We have the Hydreigons versus the Raikus. Again, this is another one of those team with something to play for versus team with nothing to play for. Shinchino, Thundurus, and Salamence are all very, very strong mons for the Hydreigons. For the Raikus, you got Urshifu, Comfey, and Latios. But again, I've said it in multiple of these matches. I'm going to stick with the philosophy. Pick the team that has something to play for. I'm going to go with the Hydreigons to win this pretty convincingly, but I can see the Raikus making it close. They picked up a win last week, I believe. So I would love a Raikus upset, but I am going to go with the Hydreigons. Again, my match of the week, let me scroll back to it, is definitely, without a doubt, this one right here, the Litwicks versus the Miltanks. So again, if you only want to watch one match this week, watch mine. If you can watch 2 matches, watch mine and this one. Again, I do think the Miltanks have been uploading a lot of their battles. I think they're new to it still, pretty new, along with myself, so I do think they've been a little bit, slow is not the right word, but just a little bit behind on when the battle actually takes place, when it uploads, I think. Could be all wrong. If I am, I apologize. But yeah, once it is uploaded, I'll make sure to link it in one of my videos at the time so everyone can go watch it. Because I think this one might be, has a chance to be match of the year, in my opinion. So I'm really excited for this. Hopefully these 2 coaches don't watch this and I jinx it. Or I hope they do watch it, but I don't want to jinx the match and have it not be as good as I think it could be. I hope it's fantastic. I'm going to make sure to check it out. You guys should do the same. And I believe that's all I got for this week in the recap and the review for the upcoming week. Good luck to the coaches as we get closer to playoffs. I'm glad to be back doing this. A little high on some oxycodone right now. So I don't know if anything I said made sense. Hopefully it did. Hope you all have a good night. Check out next week's and my rest of the videos coming out this week. If you want to see the types of videos I got coming out, I got some new projects and stuff. I did a 2021 update video where I have what my schedule is going to be. Feel free to check that out so you can see what's coming up. But yeah, good luck to coaches. Looking to finish this league strong. And yeah, and I just realized in the bottom I misspelled teams. So cool. But either way, have a good night. I'll see y'all later. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Peace.